Greetings everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to speak about queen bee. A queen bee is a single reproductive female bee that lives in a hive or a colony of honeybee. A queen bee can lay up to a total of approximately 2,000 eggs per day. However, condition does apply. If the source of nectar is not adequate, then the queen bee would have reduced her rate of reproduction. For those who don't know what is nectar, nectar is a sugary fluid secreted within flowers to encourage pollination. So this sugary fluid is then collected by the honeybee to make honey. So in other words, if the queen bee don't have enough resources to feed the colony, then she wouldn't have increased the population. Queen bee control the colony through a chemical called pheromone. Each worker bee knows the pheromone of their queen. So if the queen is missing for a few hours, then the scent of this pheromone would have vanished or diminished. Thus, the worker bee would have known that they are queenless, and this will put them into an emergency mode. Into emergency mode, worker bee would have selected young, healthy, fertilized larvae that was previously laid by the queen and fed it extra royal jelly. After the selected larvae are properly fed, within 6 days the cell would have been sealed, and 8 days after, a new queen would have emerged, and 14 days after, the queen would have went out for a mate flight. In this mate flight, she would have stored up to 100 million sperms in her oviduct, which would have served her for her entire lifespan. 7 days after the mate flight, this queen will begin laying, and she will now become fully control of the colony. In contrast to that though, honeybee does have another way to create queen. This method is called swarming. Swarming is the process of a single colony split into 2 or more distinct colonies. This mainly happens in spring. So now we are piecing the puzzle together, right? Because we all know that in spring flowers start blooming and also producing nectar, which would have produced adequate resource for the queen, which would have now led to her maximum capability, which also led to overpopulation in the colony. So now the bee would have decided, now the worker bee would have decided that they need to split, right? So when hive is getting ready to swarm, the queen lay into the queen cups. New queens are raised, and hive may swarm as soon as the queen cell are capped, and also before a new virgin queen emerge from their queen cell, right? A laying queen is too heavy to fly long distance, so therefore the worker will stop feeding her before the anticipated swarm date, and the queen will also stop laying. Swarming creates an interruption in the growth cycle of the original colony due to the preparation. Alright, so scout B will simplify a nearby location for the swarm to cluster. When a honeybee swarm emerges from a hive, they do not fly far. So that's why we advise farmer, whenever time you visit your apiary, you need to look up in nearby trees and such. You understand? They may gather in a tree or on a branch only a few meters from the hive. They cluster about the queen and send 20 to 50 scout bees out to find suitable new nest location. Right? This intermediate stop is not for permanent habitation, and they will normally leave within a few hours to a suitable location. It is from this temporary location that the cluster will determine the final nest site based on the level of excitement of the dances of the scout bee. So you may wonder what dance in a scope bee I'm speaking about, right? Okay. Honeybee communicate by movement of their body, such as buzzing their wing or moving to a certain particular location. You understand? So when a scope bee returns back to the temporary nesting site, right? You would have plotted the grid reference of the exact location of the new nesting site, which would have then read by the other bee, and they would all left off together, including of the queen, to the new nesting site. So to all our bee farm out there, right? If you see a swarm of bee, you need to react like quickly, because it's very unlikely for a swarm of bee to remain at the temporary location for more than 3 days, due to the fact that swarming creates a vulnerable time in the life of honeybee. Swarm are provisioned only with the nectar or honey they carry in their stomach. A swarm will starve if it does not quickly find a home and more nectar stores. This happens most of the time with early swarm that leave on a warm day that is followed by a cold or rainy weather in spring. On the flip side though, remnant colony after having produced one or more swarms, yeah, is usually well provisioned with food. But the new queen can be lost or eaten by predators during her mate flight, or poor weather can prevent her mating flight. In this case, the hive has no further young brood to raise additional queen, and it will not survive. So it is the duty of the bee farmer to observe this and introduce a new queen to the colony or a new stock of brood so they can raise queen again, which is time costly and sometimes not even recommended. So guys, we have come to the end of the video. Yeah, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment in the comment section. So, until then, peace out.